quite important, and I'll tell you why. Government has developed two important national documents which prioritizes what we need to do in addressing issues to do with climate change. These two national documents are quite important through the means of green economy and environment. Why are they important? Because they set priorities of what government desires to do in addressing the impacts of climate change at the grassroots level, at the national level, and also feeding into the global engagements. So this is why we are here today.
Most community members and community-based organizations that do not really have reach on technical subjects, they have even lost interest in some of these technical subjects like the NDCs and the NAP as subjects that are very key to climate change. So what that means is that there is now a need for us to create deliberate platforms where such community gatherings can have their voices inputted.
We cannot do it on our own. We need to collaborate. If we just from seeing from other sectors, my health sector, my agriculture sector, all the sectors have been affected by climate change. So it means we need to come up together and fight climate change. We need to address climate change. We have to collaborate in climate action.
We also strengthen our relationships with other non-government organizations like CEJ and many others that may be coming on board. So we'll actually ensure that most of the community members, if not all, start speaking the same language of climate change.
As we are talking about the challenges that CSOs face, most of the recommendations were coming out. We've established that the major challenge is information trickling down to the intended stakeholder. So I think the first thing, there should be a deliberate policy, even from the whether project designers or activity designers, to start from the grassroots, to involve the actual people who are facing these challenges.
There is resistance from community to participate in climate change programs. Kupasa chisanzo, ichovuta kuti community igwepo, mukuchita reduce kapena zovuta zamene tipeza muku tandiza kuti climate change ichokepo pa community yatu. Chifuka sibaziba pali yinkanya climate change, so chimavuta na veve kugwapo. So government imapeza kuti nichovuta kusebenza na ababantu ba mu community.
To continue maybe carrying out different programs within our wards, just to maybe ensure that these NDCs and NAPs are actually well informed to our communities.
How can we adapt? When it comes to infrastructure, one needs to at least construct structurally sound buildings. There's need also to consider proper materials to use in the construction, because some material, if not well taken care of, may be the cause of accidents in times of bad weather conditions.
As the government, we haven't sat idle, but it has put in place quite a number of things in order to address environmental as well as climate-related issues. And some of them that we've indicated here, some of them include development of climate-smart agricultural practices. Now, these include the introduction of conservation agricultural technology, CA, as well as establishment of demo plots that has been set across the district.
Take part in the construction. So as a ministry, we do the monitoring.
We've been encouraging beekeeping, not only encouraging, but we've distributed beehives to about 100 farmers across the district. And these farmers have adopted, and right now as we speak, some farmers are able to get the yields.
As government officials, one thing we can take away from here is creating platforms that can enhance participation, platforms that can also enhance transparency, seeing that because of a lack of transparency has created misconceptions in the community that has hampered their involvement in government programs.
For us to do away with this charcoal, we have to find the other alternative solution, or maybe alternative source of energy, like renewable energy such as hydropower or solar energy. We can use that.
Ngati kwa buga matenda ya kolera zamene tingachite ni kukonka ma guidelines ya ku clinic munga ku boiling amanzi then na kufaka chlorine mu manzi ya kumwa.
A counselor is a mediator. A counselor, as we stand no wonder we did, a counselor will stand in between, because there's a community there that is actually telling you that I think the mine is also very critical. And there's also there the environmentalists that are actually saying, no, I think if we do this. So a counselor is a mediator in such a way that a counselor ensures that the government or the environmentalists that are actually coming up, that are coming to our wards, ensures that there are alternatives, okay? There are alternatives that are actually brought forth in a bid to actually curb the effects of the climate change.
For us who are in the rural and poor, who suffer more the effect of the climate change.
The poor are very much vulnerable in the sense that, the poor people, have been very much difficult kuti vapeze panjira yapafupi and compared to the rich. The rich are using a very simple way to access whatever they want, because they can buy, they can send, they can do whatever. But to a poor person, you find that because of the climate change and then the heat, all people as a result, they become very much vulnerable.
Bazimayi ndo apezeka maningi na vuto kandi wamuna, because bazimayi ndio amene bamavutikiramo sometimes kotenga mitengo ngati wabula climate change kwa kuti batenge mitengo nkhala kutali baenda ma long distances.
For Ruangwa Child Development Agency, working with child funding, we contribute to mitigating climate change through distribution of fruit trees to learning institutions with support from Forestry Department. We also contribute support to farmers to enhance smart agriculture through capacity building or trainings, working with Ministry of Agriculture. We equally distribute early maturing and drought-resistant seeds to the farmers. We also contribute to distribution of goats to households for resilient purposes.
We need to look at irrigation in order to adapt to climate change. And then the other thing is planting drought-resistant seeds. For us to be able to adapt, we need to ensure that we use drought-resistant seeds.
On adaptation due to climate change, we experience some low rainfall. And then on mitigation, we need to change from hydropower to solar energy. And then we also go to reduction of use of bulbs with filaments. On mitigation, we need to start using those bulbs with gases to reduce the high consumption of energy.
For climate and environment, setakamba kuti chifukwa cha kusintha kwa nyengo vintu vamene vichitika kuma cooperative yathu nyakuti poyamba ngati nino nthawi yolima timafunako mbewu zoshanga mminda mwathu zamene zikupya msanga.
So when we talk about adaptation, we mean how can we cope with climate change? And when we talk about mitigation, we're talking about how we can reduce the greenhouse gases that cause climate change. From adaptation and mitigation, we looked at how different sectors are able to adapt to climate change. For example, for agriculture sector, we talked about how the drought how the drought affects agriculture production and usually contributes to poverty levels. And how do we mitigate climate change? We looked at different sustainable agriculture practices such as conservation of farming to help mitigate climate change. Then we also looked at the Paris Agreement and how it resulted to the NDC, the National Determined Contributions. So these National Determined Contributions were signed and updated in 2021, but they were submitted to Paris Agreement to the UNFCCC in 2015. So the NDC has focus areas including sustainable management of forests, sustainable management of wastes, sustainable agriculture practices, as well as renewable energy. Then we further looked at the NAP, the National Adaptation Plan, which focuses on different adaptation plans. For example, we're looking at the water resource management, we're looking at agriculture sustainability, as well as health, livelihood diversification, early warning system, and other sectors. Then also looked at how best can we collaborate as a civil society organization to be able to participate in a national adaptation plan as well as NDCs, and also address some of the challenges and came up with solutions.
I want to say thank you so much, CEJ, for coming to Luangwa. We feel honored to have you. And thank you even for the wisdom, the knowledge that you've imparted in us, and we know that we are going to go a long way.
Firstly, is just to say thank you so much to our mothers, the women, the community leaders who are here, the civic leaders present, senior government officials present, our honorable civic leaders in the district. We are so humbled that you accepted our invitation to be part of this meeting. So this process we are undertaking, for me, I'm very excited that government is leading the work, is in the forefront, and as civil society organization, everything that we are doing, we are actually complementing government efforts. So whenever we are designing a project, an initiative, we always want to ensure that it fits into government priorities. And the NDCs, the NAP, those are important documents for us, because even when we are designing projects for funding in different districts, we always refer to such documents. Twatotela mkwai, twalumba, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you.